Welcome back. We're talking with Herb Wesson, former president of the LA City Council, and State Senator Holly Mitchell. So running for District 2, LA County Board of Supervisors, the homeless problem. Ron Galprin recently released a report saying that some of the new units being built in the city of LA are expected to cost $746,000 per unit. That measure, that the $1.2 billion bond measure passed in 2016, we were told we would get 10,000 units. About 228 have been built. Speaker Wesson, you had an emergency in 2015, housing emergency, another $100 million. Senator Mitchell will ask you first. The more money we spend, the worse the problem seems to get.
Conan, this isn't a situation that happened overnight and we can't build our way out of it. This isn't just an issue of lack of housing, although LA County is underwater 500,000 units. It's also an issue of economics. People can't afford the rent. And so simply building units on land that's very expensive, it cannot be the only solution. We have to do a variety of things. We have to keep people housed where they are. This is October, the first part of the month. You know, I'm definitely afraid that as a result of COVID, more people will become unhoused today. We have to use creative solutions that have been modeled all over this country, rapid rehousing, basic income to support people, keep them where they are. And we have to be creative about how we house people. Our board and care industry is an industry that's hurting, that if we had been allowed to use some of HHH and H dollars to invest in that industry, we could have housed people much more quickly. It is naive at best for us to think that we're going to be able to build enough units to meet the needs of the onslaught of people who are losing their housing every day. We have to have a varied approach to really deal with this tragedy that was years in the making.
Mr. Wesson?
Well, you know, the county and the city have partnered together and we built thousands of units. But it doesn't work when you take 10 people off the street and then they're replaced by 12 other people. So we really need to direct our focus on closing the spigot that allows people to flow into homelessness in the first place. We need to have in place a program of renter assistance. And what I mean by that, we've got to give financial planning to individuals that find themselves on the edge. We've got to have grants, no interest loans, low interest loans to try to keep them in their current housing. It is much more cost effective to spend $8,000, $10,000 than it is to spend $400,000 or $700,000 per unit.
Right. So we've come to the end. We have 30 seconds. Mr. Wesson, wrap it up for your campaign. Why should you be elected?
Well, thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to be with you. Look, I don't like people. I love people. I believe that I was born to do everything that I could to try to help folk. That's why I exist. I am so proud to be endorsed by the County Federation of Labor and most of the major business organizations in the county. But most importantly, I am the only Democrat in this race that is endorsed by the Democratic Party. So I'm honored to have that endorsement. I'm honored to be endorsed by firefighters, paramedics, grocery workers, and postal workers. So please vote for her.
Thank you. So, Senator, you have the final say.
You know, Conan, thank you for this opportunity. We have a really tough road ahead of us for recovery for LA County as a whole, but particularly the people who live in the 2nd District. And it's going to require a leader with integrity, someone who's willing to hold himself accountable, and who's going to look out for the best interests for communities and not special interests. I am proud that the LA Times called me the moral compass and the conscience of the legislature. I'm proud of the fact that I spent my entire career working to serve the needs of working families and vulnerable communities. The voters have the clear choice here. The voters have to decide who is best equipped to make sure that on day one, they're going to step in and bring resources and services to the needs of to the people in the 2nd District who, because of COVID, before COVID, were in dire, dire straits. I believe I am that candidate and looking forward to Election Day. Thanks, Conan.
Thank you both for coming and good luck in the campaign.